Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. And I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect.
Wagwan people, Lumini here, back here with another episode of the FWA Local to Global here on my channel. Now, I've been doing scouting, so obviously we've got pretty much a full admin episode coming up here, and there's quite a lot of new regens coming in. But something that's very interesting here is there's a regen here, Austin Williams, who's a 22-year-old Scottish wrestler. He's only just turned pro on the 25th of December last year. He is currently 6'4", 300 pounds, able to play face and heel. He's dominant, brutish gimmick, and has adopted the Ghost T-Bone as his finishing move. Now, the only problem is he does have the agitator personality type. So what that means is the worker has a tendency to stir up drama, has a mildly negative impact on the backstage environment, but this increases the more unhappy they become, has a increased chance of generating negative backstage interactions, which increases significantly when happy. So I really want to bring him in because he's got incredible booking reputation and booking skill at 79 apiece. The unfortunate thing is he is based in Ireland, so we would have to pay travel, but he is only on 30 a week, so I think it would work out to be 80 altogether. And obviously with him being an agitator, he is inevitably going to create problems for our backstage setup. So it's a bit of a tough one, to be honest. I have been obviously looking through. There was a couple more regens I've seen that had some incredible stats I put on here, but however I actually can't remember what they're called at the minute. Another one that I'm also potentially looking towards at some point is Minami Toyota, because she's got very good booking rep and is an incredible road agent. Unfortunately at the moment she's 400, so she's not going to be someone we can bring in at the moment, but it's nice to have a couple of these kinds of people on the shortlist in case. There's also Leyland Bryant that I've been very tempted by. He's currently worth 60, works for Rev Pro and has got very good stats overall, aerially obviously being where his strengths are at. So there's a lot of options. Obviously we're kind of trying to have a little revamp of our roster right now, so I'm kind of trying to look everywhere to see what I think our next steps are. There is somebody else and I literally for the life of me cannot remember, but I found some powerhouses on the short. Did I not shortlist them? I thought I did, but there were some powerhouses that looked absolutely crazy, and they had like 90 strength or something, or 90 power, sorry. And I was just like, what is going on? But I think the problem is a lot of these regens, they seem to be coming in with very negative attributes, which is going to create a bit of an issue for us. So I don't really know how to go about it. I'm kind of tempted to try out that regen and see how he gets on. Oh, here's one of them. Randall Robinson, 20 years old, literally just become a pro wrestler at the end of last year. 91 power, 6'5". I think I'm gonna bring this guy in. He's not particularly good at the moment, but I've got a kind of idea for him. And he is a class clown, so he shouldn't create too many negatives. The occasional one, which is kind of just one of those things. He's not great at the moment, but I've got the kind of idea to pair him with someone and maybe have him play a bit of a bodyguard kind of role. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think at the moment, it's just too tempting with 6'5", 306 pounds at the moment to not at least try and bring him in. Once more merge, which is weird. considering he's got, I'm pretty sure, 0 popularity. Nino Bryant is someone I'm still looking into as well. I think he is actually a real wrestler though, not a regen like I originally thought. I think there are just some wrestlers that don't have faces at the moment, like Leyland Bryant. I think he's probably a real wrestler as well. I do also have a plan with what we're going to run next. Joan Walker was another one of them. She's a new high flyer in the game, just literally turned pro as well, so not done a lot. Unfortunately, she is based in Ireland at the moment, so I'm not 100% sure if I want to reach out at the moment and potentially bring her over, but we are finding some decent looking regens here. It's just really this guy, I don't know whether to just bite the bullet. He is 6'4" as well, so like he looks good as a wrestler from a physicality standpoint. Again, in ring wise not great, but booking wise incredible, so it's a bit of a tough call overall. So yeah, we are pretty much at the point where we are looking towards the kind of revamp that we were looking for in our roster. Obviously at the moment we've got a couple expensive names in, like Cara Noir. He won't be staying on board with us long term at the moment. We did bring Golden Boy Santos in, who could be a decent one for us going forward. Cheap at the moment. Ika Navarro has been looking very good in the couple of matches that we've given him, so again he's one that we could potentially look forward to. He's actually going to try and improve his fitness as well. Now I have also had a switch up in my plans here. I can't actually renew at the moment because it's the last week, so I can't renew Krieger right now. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring him back in and put him in a tag team with Luke and Sharp, because they did already have a tag team together. So we will be paying for him. Madman Manson I really want to keep, but he's expecting 400 on this next contract, and I just literally cannot afford that at the moment, so he's probably going to be leaving us. Jody Fleisch, another one, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep him, so I think we're going to have to offer him a contract. Just a 1 year. I really want to keep him in because he's really experienced, and I think he could actually be an okay road agent, but I just can't afford the 230 at the moment, so I think we'll probably offer him a contract after this. I'm going to re-sign Krieger, like I said. I think everybody else is pretty much dealt with at the moment. So there's a couple of decisions to be made at the moment, I would say, in terms of some of the people we've got on board. Obviously some of them we only brought in for the season finale, but I don't know necessarily if we can afford to keep them around, especially Oliver Carter is really good, but can we afford to take the hit for booking him on shows? I don't know. But what I'm hoping is that soon... Oh, he wants 220 per show now. Oh, actually we can offer him the 230, can't we? Because he's not going to be using it. So we'll offer him the 230 for the one. I think as well it's probably going to have to be the end of our run of having... Do we let Oliver Carter go? I just don't know about Oliver Carter. I'm going to take a bit more time to think on Oliver Carter yet, because I'm not 100% sure if I want to get rid of him yet. There's a couple emails and things coming back here. Daz Black has now officially left. Oh, Randall Robert, I literally forgot that we signed this guy. I can't believe that. But yeah, Randall Robinson we will bring in. I'm not actually sure at the moment who it is I want him to work as a bodyguard for. Alright, so Krieger has now left, but like I said, I'd like to, if he will talk to us, I'd like to try and go in and negotiate. There's 180 now though, which I don't think is what we were originally paying for him. Let me just check my tracker real quick. I'm going to have to do a lot of work on this tracker because I still got to do some show rating stuff. What was Krieger on? I actually can't find him. He was on 40. So 80 is quite a lot. I would potentially go up to 80 if he doesn't want travel. But with travel, I don't really want to do that, to be honest. Maybe I'll offer him 20% merch. Well, let me go 100. 25% merch, as see what it says. I don't want to cover your travel. What about 30? Right, last offer, I'm going to go 150. Yeah, okay, he wants travel. Just out of curiosity, if I went like, not something that I'm going to pay, but like 250. He still wants travel anyway, so yeah, it wasn't ever going to make a difference. I don't think I want to pay 80 plus the 150. I just don't know if it's necessarily worth that. Unfortunately, I think my original idea with Greiger is no longer going to come to fruition because he doesn't want to move any closer. I am actually just going to go through the roster and ask them if they'll get in better shape and if they'll move. So let me do that and I'll let you know if anyone says yes. So June Lee is actually going to try and gain some weight, which should be interesting. So I think that should still help her. She's already ripped, so I think that should help her start quality a little bit more. Kenny Williams is also going to gain weight, which is an interesting one because I actually am quite tempted to maybe transition Kenny Williams into our undisputed category and then replace him with a couple high flyers because we've got like JJ Gale and Zazaya in there now. So maybe we move Kenny Williams over depending how much weight he does gain. So yeah, let's take a look and see once that's done where Kenny Williams might be at. Randall Robinson is going to try and get in better shape, so I actually don't know what he currently is, but yeah, big man is getting in even better shape, so that could be interesting. Simon Miller is going to try and go from muscular to ripped, so he should be at peak form after that, obviously being a bodybuilder. Tate Mayfairs is also going to try and become more muscular, and that is it for body changes, but that's actually a decent amount that we've got in there. So yeah, like I said, there's not really too much else to do as of now. I'm still in my head trying to work out what we do in terms of the Oliver Carter situation. So sucking company going bankrupt here. AWG now are gone. They have officially gone out of business. So that's the second company I think we've seen. I think I literally just said that. Mark Billington has now left us. Unfortunately, just was not quite good enough. This is a contract that I don't take any pleasure in signing, but unfortunately, we just can't afford Jody right now. So we will have to let him leave. Oh, interestingly, Miles Kamen's contract is actually coming to an end. So we actually may not bother renewing his then and just let him leave. What's Charlie Sterling's problem? Oh, he's annoyed at being left off the show. What we may do is just allow Miles Kamen to expire then. Right, so I think I have come to a decision here as to what we're going to do. I think we're going to let Alice Inc. go because we were planning on letting her contract run down anyway. She is out of here in 3 days, so wait, hold on. Oh no, for an initial length, 90 days. So we're going to let her go. Obviously we're going to let Karen Noir go as well, so I'll offer him just a 1 month because he's not due to go till February. We're going to keep Oliver Carter around until his expiration and see how things go with him, because I think he'll bring in decent ratings for us, and with these two leaving, that's about $400 back from worker booking, so that's a decent chunk of money. Obviously that leaves our women's division a bit short-handed with only the 3 still in there once we let go of Alice Inc. So I had been doing a little bit of scouting on a couple of the women's division wrestlers. My dream is to bring in Alex Winder, but she's not possible right now. And the one that I want more than any of them at the moment is Nightshade. She's got pretty good brawling and technical psychology is pretty decent as well. Performance wise, again, decent enough. Her fundamental and physicals are pretty good all round. She's got 24 popularity in Southern England, so that's directly where we are. And her last couple of performances that she's actually had decent performances. You see 49 on that one against Sapphire Reed at a Rev Pro show. She got 43, so like she's got experience working with people that we're booking. 47 in that one. So I think we're going to bring her in. She's also based in Southern England, so there wouldn't be any travel required for her. We'll offer her 10%. Actually, no, I'll offer her the 5 and see if she... So we should have just offered her 10 in the first place. So yeah, we'll offer Nightshade a contract. And I think the other one I kind of want to do is Rain Leverkusen. There's a lot of talent on here that look like they could be good, but aren't quite there yet. Another one, Sky Smithson, is someone I'm also quite tempted by. She, I don't think, has had as good performances though. 45 in the tag team match, 42 again. So she's in the ballpark. ZZ is a regen, I think. 6 foot, but doesn't actually have any really good outstanding stats at the moment. Myla Grace is someone that I'm very interested in as well. However, she currently is based in Ireland, so I don't want to maybe put the money into that one right now. So I think Harley Hudson again is another one that I want, but she is based in Northern England, so it would be 150 for her at the moment, which I don't think is worth it. At this current point, obviously we have this other regen that we found as well, but she's also based in Ireland, but she would only be 80, but she doesn't really have that many standout stats, so I don't think she's necessarily the one we need to go for. There is Kira, who obviously has had a match for us before. Or LA Taylor. LA Taylor was the one I was most interested in, but she is a brawler, a powerhouse as well. What kind of ratings is LA Taylor bringing in? Because that could be a different option. We don't really have anyone. We've got 39 in Battle Royal. We don't really have any like power players. Only 34 in that one though. ZZ 30. She actually got outperformed by ZZ. 36. I don't think LA Taylor's quite there yet at the level that we kind of are looking to sign people at. So I think the one that makes the most sense probably is Sky Smithson. Let's just check out Rain Leverkusen's last couple of matches and see what she's at. She's got 32 in the Battle Royal. Rain doesn't have necessarily the best stats. She actually only got 23, but that was in an independent, to be fair. 24, and that wasn't in an independent. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily, I don't think Rain's the one that we want to bring in. I think it probably is Sky Smithson that we do bring in here for 80. She is a wrestler, so 5'5". She is, I think, more of a powerhouse build from what I know. We'll give her a 6 month and see how she performs. We'll give her 10%. And those will be the two signings that we make to replace Alice Inc. And then obviously what we need to do is offer Cara Noir that new contract so that we can see him leaving sooner rather than later. And then Oliver Carter will stay on board with us. I think he won 10%, didn't he? I wants to travel pay as well. It's a shame about Cara Noir because when I brought him in originally, the idea was I was bringing him in because he was based in South England, and for South England 170 per show was actually really good value, but because he's now moved to Central Europe, he would bring good value just based on his 42 popularity. But I think at the moment Oliver Carter is the one that I prefer just because of his popularity everywhere, and I think he's just got slightly more skills to fit in with the division that obviously we know is flying the highest, especially with Ozaya leading it at the moment. So I think it makes more sense to keep Oliver Carter around than Cara. So we'll see if I've actually made the right choice with that one, but let's advance ahead. Alice Inc. will be leaving us, and then we'll hopefully get those signings in. Right, so we do have a couple, not that's interesting first. Jodie Fleisch's contract coming to an end, obviously we know about that one. And also Miles Kamen, who I think is another one we may let go, just because at the moment we don't really have any use for him. We do have Nightshade coming in here as well as a heel. Guy Smithson as a heel, and obviously that Cara Noir renewal, which we'll see him leaving us soon. Tomorrow is the day that Alice Inc. leaves. So I think the next thing, as you can see here, I've built a couple tag teams that are currently inactive. We've got Golden Boy Santos and Randall Robinson, so I'm going to try them together as kind of a cocky heel and a bodyguard. We've got the Smoking Aces, who obviously are already a well-established team, and then the Stunners, but I haven't put these guys together yet because obviously they're on the separate divider things. So there needs to be a storyline before that. But basically, my plan is within a couple of months. Did I actually put this show in properly? I don't think I did, but it is there. But yeah, I think the plan is in our middle few months of Ascension, I'm going to run maybe a tag team tournament to crown our first tag team champions, because obviously we still have our tag team championship sat here without anyone having been signed for them yet, really. So that will be probably what's up next for us. Laura Di Matteo at the moment is our longest reigning champion, obviously both our men's titles switching hands. I'm kind of trying to find someone that I think is a worthy successor for Laura Di Matteo, but at the moment she's just head above everybody else that we could potentially sign. So right, so a couple of emails. Obviously Alice Inc. is now gone from FWA. Cara Noir is running down. Actually, Niall Fox is gone, which I forgot. I think we decided we weren't going to re-sign Niall Fox because of him being in Ireland and 1 in 60. I was trying to see if I could get him to cover his own travel expenses, but it doesn't look like he will do that. We may think about bringing him back at some point, so actually I might just put him on the short list so that we have him there. Another interesting one here though is Isla Dawn's contract is running down. She has been offered a renewal, so it probably is likely that she ends up staying in WWE, but she's on $240 per show and she's in America. What if they offer that? $1,900 per month for 2 years. I mean, we can't compete with that at the moment, but I thought that could have been interesting if she had come up and was free. So kind of our next thing is we kind of need a referee, if we can find one that we're not paying travel for. Or we could just bring in Niall Fox back in, I guess. But we were kind of trying to avoid that as well. So let's take a look at referees. So I think it just makes sense really for it to be Des Roberts, the guy that comes in. Got a good amount of experience as well. Would be exclusively a referee. 60. No travel required. You want some more merch? 10% merch. So yeah, Des Robinson, will be the one that we offer the contract out to. Is there anything else that we require non-wrestler wise that I haven't? I kind of do want to bring in a play-by-play at some point. I think we've got 2 color, maybe even 3 color commentators now. Madman Manson is leaving us obviously at the end of this contract, so the end of this month, literally 2 days in fact. So I have asked Simon Miller to step in to replace him because he has got 64 color commentary, so he will be our replacement color commentator. Obviously it's not a huge thing for us right now because we haven't got a broadcast deal, but we do have a color commentator should we need one. Road agents, what are we looking for? We do need to bring in another road agent actually, because Madman Manson at the moment I think is our head road agent, isn't he? Psychology 61. No, Paul Tracy is just out ahead. So we are going to need another road agent. Do we have anyone that could potentially do it? I mean, he doesn't really have the experience. Kara would have been interesting. Oh, actually, we could ask Charlie Sterling to do it. Psychology and experience, 68. Should we see if Charlie Sterling will do some road agenting? He will. So actually, we've got Charlie Sterling in as a road agent now as well. Yeah, I didn't realise he had the 68 psychology with 100 experience. That's actually pretty good. Anybody else that's sneaking under the radar? Jody, unfortunately, is leaving us, but he would have been an option. Was he not? Kenny Williams is getting to the level that he could potentially be there. Not quite there at the moment, I would say. Madman obviously is leaving us. Again, Nick Riley is getting to the level, but not quite there as of yet. Paul Tracy is currently our head guy. I don't think anybody else is quite there yet. But yeah, so Charlie Sterling can step straight into that Madman Manson role, which is helpful. Obviously, he's a active competitor as well, so we'll have to make sure he's not, if he is competing, that he's not rotating. Right, so I think I've made a decision on what it is that I want to do for the next couple of events that we're going to have, rather than just have it running and they kind of be exactly the same thing as what we did last time round. I've got a new idea, and I think it's going to be 2 tournaments that run at the same time, and one will be a tournament to crown our first tag team champions, and one will be in our women's division. So the plan is for the tag team tournament is to do a round robin format. I haven't brought all the teams in yet, but we will do that. We want to do 6 teams, 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and then we'll call it obviously tag championships. Do I need to add everything in now? I'm not sure if I do or not. I think I have to add everything in. So I've made a couple tag teams already, but there's going to be storylines to add to it. I may even make a separate event instead of running them on the Ascension shows and not have the Ascension. The plan is, I think I'm going to run this first Ascension show, and then maybe after that we run the tournament shows for the next couple of shows, and then go back to the regularly scheduled Ascension, blah blah blah. We'll have other stuff running in the background, but like we'll have other matches, and I think it will give us a better chance to see some more underutilized talent in matches, as well as then having the main storylines running with that, and that's what I want to do. So I have planned out here the teams that I want to get. So I think what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and sign some of them. I think one of them is going to cost a little bit more than I want, but that's fine. I think with the women's side of thing as well. So my plan is to have Laura Di Matteo in the tournament, but not from the start. So we've got at the moment 5 competitors that can be in it. So like the opening round would be, for instance, Chantel versus Nightshade, Sapphire versus Sky Smithson. Then they would go on to face each other. So on the other side, we need to have kind of like a first matchup. So I think what we'll do is we'll sign one more person on the women's side of things, and then they will be the one to face June Lee, and then whoever wins out of that matchup will go on to face Laura Di Matteo in the semi-finals. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, so let's next go in and first sign the talent that I want for the tag team match. So Crowley and Elijah. So Charles Crowley, he's currently worth 70. He's based in Southern England, so we wouldn't be paying anything. Stats wise, actually pretty good all across the board. He is very good for marketing as well. He's creative dynamo, so he's extraordinarily creative. He has a hot new move as well, which will play into our hands, as well as being lively as well. So he's definitely going to be signed up straight away. May even be someone that we keep around for a little bit longer. I think I'll give him a 9 month for now. His tag team partner, he has a tag team, as I checked in here, none of them super experienced, but with Elijah. So it's this Elijah here, who we had already had on our list, again based in southern England. He isn't quite as good as Charles Crowley in most things. He's decent enough, I would say, but I don't think he has anything massively stand out, and personality wise doesn't have any real issues, so shouldn't create any problems for us. Again, we'll offer him a 9-month deal. He wants 10% as well, but that will be them hopefully signed up. Next up, we already have Golden Boy Santos on the books. He has a tag team with David Francisco, who is the next person we're going to sign up. As you can see here, they've got a tag team with 50 experience, so it's a pretty well-known tag team. I did have Golden Boy Santos in a new tag team with Randall Robinson, who obviously I'm getting him to work with, but I think what we'll do instead of having that is we will have Randall Robinson at ringside with them, but David Francisco will be the one to actually tag with Golden Boy Santos. I like the idea of that more. Again, he is based in southern England as well, so no travel for him. 10% on his contract, only 70 per show, so not breaking the bank. Smoking Aces we do already have signed up. I do have obviously the Stunners, which is Levi Muir and Amari. However, at the moment I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to go full with it being them. I do have them on the list, but I'm not 100% sold, and it also would need storyline, so I need to see if I can get the storyline right first and maybe a turn for one or the other. Obviously Amari at the moment, I kind of want Amari in the tournament because I think it preoccupies him and doesn't mean we have to necessarily defend the belt, but I'm going to work on that one. The next ones we have up are Jim and Lee Hunter, the Hunter brothers. Lee Hunter is significantly more expensive than Jim, but it's because he's got incredible safety, stamina, basics, consistency. Like, it's insane. He has got the stalwart personality type, so he just gets on with his job, so that should be fine. So we are paying slightly over the odds for him, but again, his travel should be covered by our spillover. I think he may ask for travel, but we'll see if he does. I think it's only 20, so I don't think it's too bad. It would be 130 for him anyway, and like I said, it's only a part-time deal. I'm just going to offer him 10 now because I think he's going to want that. You can see no travel clause because it will be covered. And we'll bring in his brother Jim Hunter, who again isn't as good but is still very much up there. Got very good reputation actually, good stats all round, so still a very good worker in his own right for sure. Again, it'll be 9 months. We'll offer him 5, he wants 10. Oh, so due to his declining physicality, he wants to work less, so I'll put him on events only, because obviously we only have events at the moment. Didn't think he had any. He's still in like the 90s for his body. He is 43. His brother's 40. Well, that's not fine. We can make that work anyway. And then the last one is the Purge, who I actually don't remember. Oh, it was Crowbar, wasn't it? And his tag team partner Stevie James. So Crowbar is actually based in Scotland, which obviously we were stopping booking people from Scotland because of the travel. However, it is 100 experience, so for me it kind of feels worth it in this one to kind of just take it so that we can have like a legitimate 100% they are a tag team in there. So we're gonna go ahead and offer it. He wants travel as I expected he would. 10% merch, yeah, 10% merch. And then his partner is Stevie James, who's also based in Scotland, slightly more expensive, but again, no bad personality types or anything like that. And like I said, I think it is worth it just to have that well-known tag team. They're not super popular in Southern England, but I think just having the legitimacy of like a legitimate tag team, I think makes more sense. So we're going to go ahead and make that signing as well. So that should be all the talent we need for the tag team tournament. Obviously we still have Des Robinson, waiting on him to reply. So a fair few signings, and hopefully something that doesn't come back to bite me in the arse running it this way, but we'll wait and see. Next up, obviously, is the female signing that I want to make to face June Lee in the first round. Now, I'm in between whether we go for someone very well known or whether we go for someone who's a bit more of a young lion. LA Taylor potentially? Because we weren't sure. This could be a good test for her. I actually think I've just sold myself on LA Taylor there. Because like, I like these guys, but Islanders. Yeah, I think we can go LA Taylor. She's based in Southern England. She's got really good popularity here as well. She's a people person with outside interests. But that's fine, we're not too bothered about that. So yeah, I think I will offer it to LA Taylor, and that actually helps Guy Smithson, who thinks it's an excellent idea to bring in LA Taylor. She can have a year deal, she won't need travel, offer her 5%, she wants higher, 10, and she's happy with 10, so we'll offer LA Taylor the last spot, and then she can have a little test match against June Lee to see how she does. And yeah, so that's basically it for the signings I think I want to make for this one. Like I said, I may make that event in a minute, but I need to come up with a name for it first. So if I do that, I'll show you it. But first, let's advance and see if we get those contracts signed. So a couple emails here for us. Juice Robinson is now in new game areas, which I don't care about. Kid Like Us 2 is actually leaving North, which is... Oh no, he's got a deal with TNT as well. So he will be freed up soon. Not that we can afford him at the moment anyway. Madman Manson has now left us, unfortunately. It's unfortunate because I'd love to keep him around, but I just can't. I literally can't afford to pay him $400 per show. I don't really know how he's justifying the $400 per show either, because he's a good colour commentator. He's got great charisma and acting, and his fundamentals are decent. Psychology and experience are good, but 400 just seems very high. I'd be interested. I'm going to shortlist him, so I'd be interested to see if he does pick up another job. Simon Miller's contract is coming to an end, who obviously... Oh, Simon Miller's now gone up to 400 as well. So now there's even more road problems on the road ahead. There's another signing required, because we are not going to be able to keep Simon Miller around. So Simon Miller will also be leaving us, which was our other colour commentator that we just brought in. Oh, that's a problem. Right, so what do we do about this now? Do we see if June Lee wants to do commentary? Let's see how she would feel about doing colour commentary. She actually will do colour commentary. What does she get for it? She gets a 69. So charisma and microphone. So she could actually settle in as a colour commentator for us. Have we got anybody else? We've got Oliver Carr, but I don't really want to put him on there. And then maybe see if Luking Sharp fancies being a colour commentator for us as well. He doesn't want to do play-by-play, but he can do colour for us as well. So that's another two options that we have there, to use Luking Sharp a bit more as well, because he hasn't been being used. But that is an upsetting one, to be fair, because I had been very happy that we managed to get Simon Miller in, but unfortunately for 400 per show, it's just not something I can afford to pay right now. So unfortunately we will be seeing the end of Simon Miller's run with FWA now, which is a little bit upsetting because his popularity was a big boost to us. But oh well. We've got Charles Crowley, Lee Hunter, Crowbar, Stevie James and LA Taylor's contracts all ready to accept, so we'll go ahead with that. Still waiting on Des Robinson, Elijah, James Francisco and Jim Hunter, so let's basically wait and see what happens with those. We obviously still do need to build the tag team division more after we do this, so we'll have to see. I don't actually have in my head who I want the victors of these tournaments to be yet, but that will be something that comes down the line. But yeah, Des Robinson, Elijah, David Francisco, and Jim Hunter now all being confirmed. So let's go actually first off and make the rest of the teams. That will be the field for our first tag team tournament, which I'm just trying to lock a name down on. I think I'm going to go for Battle Bracket. So I will make that and see if I can make a quick logo, and then we'll go from there. Right, so I haven't actually made a logo for it yet, but I'll get onto that next time for the next episode that I record. But what we're going to call it is FWA Battle Bracket, and that will be where we run our tournament shows from. There we go, got there eventually. So that will be, this will be used for our tournament shows from now on, and then we'll just make it active and inactive for as and when we're using it. Cool, got through that eventually. So let's set up that first tournament now. Create that tournament. There we go. So that will be the teams that we have in there. Like I said, I might change it and not have the stunners in there, but I haven't decided yet. And this is how we're going to crown our first champions. We are going to have it on a point based, so whoever gets the most points will end up as your champions, or our first tag team champions. Or the women's tournament, I don't think we can actually set up at the moment on the game, because the way that I want to do it, I don't think it will work properly. So we will do that eventually, and that is still planned, but it might not be in a tournament structure like this. But I'm going to make graphics for all of this for when we actually start it, which we're not going to be doing currently, because obviously we are awaiting the March show date, so that will be something that we will do down the line. So I think what we'll do then is we'll just go ahead and do this last scheduled event, and then from there, if nothing else needs to be dealt with, we will finish the episode there. JJ Gale's contract is coming up, so as well as Tate Mayfair's and Uwada, so we do have a couple contract talks that we may need to get into here. JJ Gale still only wants 60 per show, so we will offer him another contract. I think we probably will just offer him a year as well, because he actually had decent performance in the Battle Royal, and obviously we do need some talent around to kind of fill in the rest of the cards when we get to the Battle Bracket. And I think the Cruiserweights will have a big spotlight on those cards as well. So he'll get that. Pack's done there. Take Mayfair's. What is he currently on? 70. I don't think he's on much more than that. No, he's on 70 at the moment. So again, we'll just offer him probably a year contract for the 70. He's still based in Southern England, right? Yeah. We'll give him 10%, because I think that's what he's not asked for anyway. So just offer him the same contract again. Same with Uwada, unless he's gone up by a lot. He may be going back from Excursion at some point though. So I think he is on... Oh, is he not on Excursion? Actually, he's only employed by us right now. That's interesting. I thought he was out on Excursion, but it seems not. Oh no, he is sent on Excursion. I'm so confused. So when did he get sent on Excursion? April 2025. And he did extend his deal, but apparently he doesn't have a deal. That's really confused me now. I'm very confused with that. I'm pretty sure he is on Excursion, but at the moment it says he's only hired by us. So we will offer him a year-long contract, because he has been putting in some decent 40 rated performances. It's 10% merch, which is fine. And I actually do have a storyline, well, kind of storyline in mind for him. So Levi Moore is now recovered. I actually didn't know he was injured. Either I didn't know, or I hadn't paid attention to what was his injury? He had a bruised eye socket. I kind of forgot that was a thing. We are still obviously on the mission to claw back as much as we can in terms of finances. The hope is that eventually we'll be able to turn this around. I am slightly anxious at the fact that I'm not fully confident in what I'm doing. But hopefully the plan is that we will be able to turn it around at some point. We don't have money to change any of these things at the moment. I think my long-term view with this save is obviously to get us a TV deal, but we've got a lot more growth to do before we do that. We really need to hit this 3rd level at some point. At the moment, it's feeling unlikely that we're going to do that, but maybe if we have a good enough show for the next Ascension, we can do that, and then maybe the battle bracket after that will help us even more on that scale. But yeah, it's basically wait and see right now. So Leo Cage has just returned from the holiday we gave him. Obviously, he was annoyed that he got injured. He currently is still annoyed that he got injured, even though we gave him time off. So yeah, it doesn't seem like that's going to change anytime soon. Okay, I'm just checking what people are annoyed at. Most of them are being annoyed at being left off 1 or 2 shows. Actually, all of them are just 1 show, so there's not really much I can do about that. I can't really afford to give any of them time off, or I definitely can't afford to give them any sort of boost. So what I think I'm going to do, I think I might give Leo Cage this character idea and hope that that helps with his morale. We'll see how that goes. It was a success, but he's still irritated, but no, didn't fully work. We're going to have to try and grab some more character ideas, I think, and then maybe try and deploy them on the rest of the people that are still annoyed. Alright, so we've got a couple body changes coming here. Kenny Williams has actually gone up to 207 after bulking up in muscle mass, so that's actually pretty good, because obviously I said I did kind of want to move him up to our heavyweight division, which that would be perfect for now. So that means I've got a great storyline in mind now for Kenny Williams, so perfect from him going up to 207. Marcus Mathers has been hired. Simon Miller has gone up to ripped. Obviously he's now leaving us, so that's not that big a deal. Herman Christensen's contract is coming to an end. Obviously he's part of our booking team at the moment, so I will offer him a new contract for a year. Where is he based? In the Midlands, so he should be covered by our spillover, right? So I'll just offer him the same contract. So that's good. Josh Bevan, again, another one that we need to offer the same contract to, pretty much. He will never work in ring. And that will be, he wants a higher cut on merch. 10% for him for another year, so that's good. That will be him re-signed. What we've got here, Leon Cage now fully fit, so he's recovered from his back injury, which hopefully means he should stop being mad at us. Ike Navarro has gone from flabby to average, which is nice to see. Joseph Finette Jr. has left XWX. No, WXW, there you go. Now only employed by GFW, so that could be one to keep an eye on in the future, but not one I'm bothered about right now. Another financial warning for RevPro again, so they are definitely in trouble right now. So this was an interesting one actually. So I did just a little bit of world scouting off camera, and Bianca Belair has actually left WWE, is now part of TNA. She's just got an offer from DPW. Jack Morris has got a contract offer from Noah to extend. I think it's a written contract, so like I said, we can't afford to bring him in at the moment anyway, so that's not too big of a deal. Right, so it is showtime. Obviously I said I was probably going to give the night off to most of the new signings that we've just brought in, so I will do that off camera now and then we will continue. Right, so venue wise, obviously we're going back down to, so yeah, the economy and wrestling economy, they are above average, but they are falling at the moment, so that's not great. Giant venue in the Midlands is currently selected tonight. Oh, because I haven't changed it over yet. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So we are expecting 88 fans at the moment, so that's not really, we're not growing in the way that I wanted to, but obviously that's because we haven't run a show for a little while now, so hopefully we can do that. So we will just select generic venue in Southern England, obviously. Booking team wise, we've got 112. Is anything happening in terms of they're happy? Everyone seems to be fine, so let's spend some creative energy. I want to get a character idea. Hopefully it'll be a good one. I'd like to see succeed, but it's only for desire, so that's not really what we want. We'll grab a creative finish as well, which is a decent one. I need to kind of stack creative finishes for the last few shows, but that's fine. Locker room incident wise, Randall Robinson has been getting ribbed a little because of how much he started being influenced by Oliver Carter, even taking on some of his mannerisms. Carter's professional and Randall Robinson is class clown, so that's not a bad thing per se. Nick Riley ran pre-show training with some of the women, Sapphire Reed and June Lee. He also took basic and safety training for 9 students: Levi Muir, Luke Sharp, Herman Christian, Will Cruz, Mars Kamen, Leon Cage, Golden Boy Santos, Yuval Wada and Randall Robinson, so a decent amount of people getting trained here. Herman Christensen almost got into a fight with Kenny Williams after he caused some damage to a rental car and refused to pay for it, and now I have to deal with how it's being dealt with basically. We'll do a slap on the wrist. Kenny Williams annoyed at being called at me saying that I called it soft, which not great to be honest, because we want Kenny Williams to be happy. What was it I wanted to do? I wanted to try maybe medal. Nah, actually I'm not going to medal. I'm going to put a rib, and we'll go ahead and put a rib on. I think we'll probably get away with it on maybe Simon Miller, since he's on his way out. The rib failed to provide any positive or negative effect. Okay, that's fine. Let me book this show out then, and then we'll get into it after that. Right, so this is the show we are going to run this time around. We do have a booking analysis because I accidentally messed up the booking. I put Kenny Williams in the main event match, obviously forgetting that he's just gone up to heavyweight, so the pre-booking is wrong, so we probably will be slightly marked down for that, but it is what it is. So we don't have any pre-show matches this time, but we do have a pre-show angle called Omari's Olive Branch. We then have a battle bracket angle to start the show off, before we'll see Laura DiMatteo and Sky Smithson team up to take on Sapphire Reed and Chantal Jordan. Then we will see the Stunners versus Miles Kamen and Randall Robinson. JJ Gale, Leon Cage and Yuval Wada will then go head to head in a triple threat match before the Smoking Aces take on Herman Christensen and Will Cruz. We will then see Kenny Williams debut at heavyweight against Golden Boy Santos, and then in the main event, Zaya will defend against Oliver Carter, Ika Navarro, and Liu King Sharp. So let's get into this one and see how it goes. So, in a good opening angle, Omari approaches Levi Muir and wants to talk to him about their past. Muir says the only thing that he's interested in at the moment is making his mark on FWA, when Omari adds that he thinks he knows the perfect way for him to do just that. Omari says he's heard rumours of a tournament for new tag team titles, and he thinks him and Muir should run it back as a tag team and claim those belts. Muir is hesitant but says he'll agree to it only if they run a match tonight to see how it goes. So a 43 for that one actually is pretty decent for that angle. I wasn't expecting it to get that high rated, so nice way to start off on the pre-show. Then moving into the main show, David Rain and owner Ashton Smith announced the upcoming event Battle Bracket, where the inaugural tag team champions will be crowned alongside a women's tournament to see who will come out the other side as FWA Women's Champion. So that actually did one better than the first angle that we had, going up to a 46, where that was three better, sorry, where it goes up to a 46 from their 43. We actually do have 89 people in the crowd tonight as well, which is up from the 88 that was projected. Ashton was superb working without script, and he had the crowd in the palm of his hands the entire time. David Rain improvised well as well. So that's a nice start to the show. Let's get into the matches and see how they go. So a good starting match-wise, as well as we get a 46 for this match, and a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat. Sapphire Reed and Chantel Jordan defeated Laura Di Matteo and Sky Smithson when Sapphire Reed pinned Sky Smithson with a surprise cradle. It was to show a specific story, because obviously we're building towards the women's tournament, and now probably two of the favourites have just picked up a win over the champ and her partner. So definitely going to be interesting to see how that goes. The champ though leading the way again with a big 60 in this match. Sky Smithson debuting with a 39. Chantel Jordan being a little bit disappointing with a 34. Sapphire Reed with a 40. Unfortunately, Sky Smithson's gimmick has got an initial rating of poor, so we might have to do some work on that. Sapphire and Chantel were both off their game, but it got the crowd off to a good start. Our crowd heat is at white hot right now, so we may have a drop off at some point in the evening because they've started off fast. Next up in a decent match, we do see the reformation of the Stunners as they take on Miles Kamen and Randall Robinson, and they win when Levi Muir submits Randall Robinson. Obviously Randall Robinson was always going to be the weak link in this one, being a young lion, but that's kind of why we put him in the match. Levi Muir getting a 31, Amari getting a big 42, Randall Robinson only getting an 11, but like I said, that's pretty much what we were expecting. Miles Kamen getting a 39. However, what is interesting is Randall Robinson debuted his bodyguard gimmick and did get an initial rating of great. June Lee did some good work at ringside, and Golden Boy Santos, who obviously is working with Randall Robinson at the moment, also did some good work at ringside. So the heel team did both have managers out there, but wasn't enough for them to get the win. Did only get a 36, but a big 42 from Amari is nice to see. So hopefully this tag team will have some success when we go into the battle bracket. Obviously I kind of gave it away that I did want this to be the tag team. I did have an alternative in mind, but I was always going to put them in a match, and as long as it didn't say that they had bad chemistry, which I imagined they wouldn't have because they were a tag team beforehand, we were always going to run them. So yeah, the world champion, the undisputed British champion will be in the tournament, because as well then it kind of keeps us from having to play that story, and I've also got an idea about how that may play into stories going down the line as well. Next up in a very good triple threat match, we see Leon Cage defeat JJ Gale and Yuwa Wada when Leon Cage pinned Yuwa Wada with an Into the Future. It revolved around a lot of high spots. JJ Gale getting a 34. I did contemplate giving JJ Gale the win in this one, but because Leon Cage is a little bit annoyed at the moment, and I know that Yuwa Wada has a big following, I thought Yuwa Wada could probably take the pinfall without it bothering him that much, because he's popular anyway. JJ Gale doesn't have really any negatives from this one, from not getting the pinfall, or not having the pinfall on him, taking the pinfall, sorry. But he does outperform the other two as we expect. Leon Cage getting a 36 and Yuwa Wada getting a 32, so these two kind of in the same ballpark, whereas JJ Gale probably is showing that he should be the next level up. 42 for this one, so pretty decent. Then we follow that up with a 41 as we see the Smoking Aces team up to take on Herman Christensen and Will Cruz when Charlie Sterling pinned Herman Christensen with a spiral tap after a bad miscommunication between Herman Christensen and Will Cruz. Obviously, Herman Christensen was always going to be the weak link in this one, so that wasn't really too much of a surprise for us. Charlie Sterling with a 45, Nick Riley with a 48, huge performance from them, so they're definitely going to be one of the favourites for the tag team tournament, you'd have to imagine. Will Cruz right up there as well with a 43, Herman Christensen only with a 16. Still not loving the Charlie Sterling face turn out of the crowd, but we haven't actually pulled the trigger on it yet. I don't think, no, because there's hints at the moment, so we may not, we may, I don't know. It's just going to stay there in the background for now, but 41 for that one, not bad at all. 32 for the next match, which seems to be the consensus is it's poor placement. But as a technical masterclass with great heat and good wrestling, Kenny Williams has defeated Golden Boy Santos by pinfall with the swinging DDT. Actually didn't benefit either of them particularly well to be in a technical masterclass, so that one's pretty much on me. Pretty disappointing debut for Kenny Williams at heavyweight, but again, we can build him up still, and there's still more work to be done there. Golden Boy Santos gets 34, Kenny Williams getting 32. The creative finish was a success, but again, it was poorly placed. That's on me, not on the wrestlers. So yeah, 32 for that one. So like I said, at some point it was probably going to simmer down, and that's exactly what happened. Hopefully the main event can bring it all the way back up. And it does bring it all the way back up with a 44 in the bout with superb wrestling and good heat. Zazaya defeated Oliver Carter, Ike Navarro and Liu King Sharp when Zazaya submitted Ike Navarro. It was designed so that they could go all out, and Zazaya gets another defense under his belt, Ike Navarro being the weak link struggling to keep up. Zazaya getting a big 50 in this one, Oliver Carter right up there with a 54. Ike Navarro with the 28, Liu King Sharp with a 40. The creative finish we had on this one unfortunately didn't work. Liu King Sharp was off his game, and Ike Navarro did get tired towards the end, but that's fine because we had enough bodies in there, I think, that would cover that up. But big 44. The Cruiserweight division is wrinkling my brain right now because obviously we've got Zozara on top. He's definitely the future of the company if we're going to keep him around for that long, if we can afford to. Oliver Carter as well now, though, is performing absolutely out of his skin. We've got a couple guys like Liu King Sharp, Leon Cage, JJ Gale that are all kind of below, so I don't really have like a clear decisive way forward of where I want to take the Cruiserweight division, but I'm liking that there's a lot of competition around. Obviously this is now Oliver Carter's second loss without this one being a direct loss, so maybe he needs to take the back seat for a minute and we give a couple of those younger guys a run. But like I said, we do have other spaces for matches on the upcoming events that we are doing, so maybe we'll fill them with a couple matches between the cruiserweights to see who can take over that spot. But we do finish things off with a 44. I probably will show the highlights for this match as well, so that will be something that I'm probably talking over at the moment and you're not even hearing what I'm saying here because I've edited all of it out. But yeah, that is what it is. So let's finish the show and see what that does for us going forward. So it is a 44. We have allegedly increased our popularity in one region, but I'm not going to get too beholden to that. We only fall down on 2, which this one is just my fault. I just placed that in the wrong place. I think if I had switched this to maybe near the beginning and moved one of these 2 up to here, that would have probably got a higher rating. But yeah, I kind of messed up on that one, so that's fine. Who are we going to praise today? I think it probably has to be one JJ Gale, because he had a very good performance and obviously didn't get the win. And maybe we go ahead and I might do Will Cruz as well, because he's taken another loss. J Gale seemed pleased, so that doesn't give him a boost, and I don't think that gives Will a boost either. Money wise, we did end up spending quite a lot of money on this one, because I booked more talents than I probably wanted to, so we are making more of a loss. I'm not sure where this turns around, but I'm hoping that it comes when we start growing more in popularity, because otherwise we could be on the way of all of the other British companies and be going out of business. But will we go up to 3 following that show? Yes, we do. So that is actually quite big for us now, because that should give us another bump in sponsorship money, and hopefully that will also mean that we will start growing in terms of attendances as well. But yeah, that show now does go into our second best Ascension show of all time, so it's nice to see that one actually succeeding pretty well. Do any of those matches, I wonder, go into our top 100s? As you can see, well, top events is actually only our 3rd top event, because I forgot about 13th Hour being the same as our August show. No. So I don't think anything else has been replaced there. But I think, so actually Sapphire Reed, Chantal Jordan defeating Laura Di Matteo and Sky Smithson has made its way in there. But not any of the triple threats. I don't think. No, there's the triple threat, you can see. But our best match of all time is still the Battle Royale that saw Oliver Carter win his #1 contendership, and then Laura Di Matteo against Sapphire Reed at 13th hour as well. The attendance does go to our second best attendance of all time, 13th hour being the only one to outsell it so far. So there's definite growth. It's just maybe not at the level of growth that we need. We might as well go ahead and apply this Josiah character idea right now, because otherwise we're not going to use it basically. So he's now pleased at least. So morale wise, I think at the moment it's only Charlie Sterling. I think we've got 4 still. Ironically, I think we've actually managed to swap Josiah for Kenny Williams. Actually, we've got 3, so Josiah's out of there. It's Kenny Williams that's annoyed at the handling of having Christensen stuff. So, yeah, not great there. Leon Cage is an annoying one because, like, we gave him that character idea to get him out. He's got more positives in here than he does negatives, but still, it's not doing enough, so yeah, we'll just have to wait and see this one. But I think this we've pretty much paid off now, but we'll wait and pay it off fully once we get to the next event, which I will make a logo for, battle bracket, and go from there. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this one. Please like, subscribe, turn the notification bell to get notified when the next episode is available to you, and I hope to see you in it. Peace.